And inshallah, we will have the fashion show start in just a few minutes, and we will speak to you more, if not today, tomorrow. A big one tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum. Yes. Yes, since we got a little break here, and he mentioned the Ramadan session. We're having the annual Muslim convention here in Detroit every year. It'll be here every year. And we're going to have also the Ramadan sessions here too. I don't know if we'll be there here every year, but until we have a more suitable situation for accommodating the numbers that are growing for the Ramadan session, we are going to have the Ramadan session here. The people here in Detroit, especially the people who manage this beautiful facility here, the Cobo Arena, have welcomed us, and we love the place. We love how they keep up the place, and it's beautiful. And we have space here, more space to accommodate the numbers that will be coming. So, and this is a good situation, especially for you who drive on the highways. You can come all the way from different directions using the interstate highways, and you arrive right here at this place. Bring you right here. Come right here. So this is a good situation, I think, a very excellent situation. And we know we have more believers on the East Coast than we have on the West Coast. And this is East. Detroit is East. So even you who take the plane, airline, I think it's more convenient for you now, and you're probably going to save money traveling. Your traveling expense is going to be a little less. I do believe that. And what there's benefits that we don't even see now, But the main benefit is that we are coming back to number one. We are starting all over again, counting. So we came back to number one, and we're going to go from number one to number two. Chicago. And the mayor, our great mayor of Chicago, he knows that most of the Chicagoans don't even know how to pronounce Chicago. We say sheep, like S-H-E, a woman, Chicago. He says that's not correct. It's not Chicago. It's cheap. Chicago. And Chicago, temple number 2. And temple number 3 is Milwaukee. Well, that's exactly the way Mr. Farad went. He came and started it in the Motor City. Because he had a plan to turn on our motor reflexes so that we'd be able to go forward a little better at fish at first. Fish, they have terrific motor reflexes. And they depend on motor reflexes. And he said he was fishing us in, right? Fishing us in. So that man had insight into the knowledge of the world, but he also had insight into the psychology of African American people enslaved and having problems for their psychology that was really developed by the bad slave conditions that we all suffered. And he had knowledge of that, and he was designing a plan to free us from everything that was holding us back from the destiny that God wants us to have as Muslims in Islam, back to be responsible, bring us back to be responsible for building community life. He said a nation, building community life. And the Indian people, they were divided up into nations, you know that? And that division up into nations still bothers them. They are not a united people. And so when I look at the Indian people, the natives of this country, and how how they were divided up and how America so willingly recognized them as nations. And then here we come, we're a nation. And we don't need to be a nation anymore. We need to be a community. We're already in a great nation. We need to be a community. And that's what Islam wants to be. It wants to have a sense of community, build upon the sense of community in Islam. Our sense of community as Muslims, build upon it, and we'll be very successful, very successful. What happened to us was all designed to motivate us to think bigger and to be willing to accept bigger and greater challenges and keep going forward. It was the super, really, the design that was given to motivate us by Mr. Farad and passed on to his minister that he chose, the Supreme Minister of the Nation of Islam in the 30s, my father, Imam WD Mohammed, and how he took it upon himself to carry that work after his teacher left, which was in 1934. Mr. Farad left, Professor Farad or Mr. Farad left, and Imam WD Mohammed took up that responsibility, and he had to pay big to keep at it. He was set back because of people dissatisfied with him, thinking that he shouldn't be the leader. He was set back right here in Detroit. And in Chicago, problems continued, and he refused to put our children in public schools, and he was arrested in Washington, D.C., and then later charged with evading or dodging the draft, World War II. And again, he was set back 5 years, which he practically did all of that, considering the time that he served in Washington jails in Washington, the time he served in the county jail in Chicago, and the time he served on the federal sentence. He just about did 5 years. And as a child, I knew my father only from my mother. My father was not in the house with us. I didn't know him. Only from my mother. And that was enough. Because once she introduced him to you and you didn't respect him, he didn't have to be president. Or the price you had to pay for disrespect would be so big, so much. Respect will be welcomed. You would welcome getting back on the road of respect real quick. You'd be trembling. And I'll never do that again, Mama. Yes. So it's more interesting with what we know. It's no accident that I was born on Yemen Street. You know what Yemen means? Yemen is the name of people that live. Well, really, they're under humans. The Yemenites, or the people of Yemen, are bright skin, very light skin. But they themselves once were connected with Africa and the African people. And they had great civilization in ancient times. They had great civilization. The people of Yemen, southern Yemen, who were under the Northerners, they had a great civilization at one time. And a lot of them came to Detroit and they made their homes here. And the proof of that is that they have Yemen Street. Yemen is their name. The name is given for them, Yemen Street. But also Yemen has another meaning for me. Yemen means your right side. Yamin. Ala Yamin means on my right side, and it means the right side, on the right side. So it has a meaning for me, because I said to myself, Mr. Farad really was the one who influenced my father and mother to move in that house on Yemen. They didn't own the house, they just rented one level, one floor, on Yemen Street. So that everything he did holds the car. It gives mobility to the car. But in psychology, motor means something working and moving in you without your control of it, without your conscious control of it. And people are always having that working in them. A lot of things we know we do by conscience, but if we knew a little bit about psychology, we would know that much of what we do is done without our conscious awareness and our conscious management or controlling it. You see? So just like the influences of this world were working in us without a plan or guidance for our life. Please don't stay back. If you're ready to come forward, so I'll know you're ready. I'm just taking up this time until you're ready to start the fashion show, Graceland fashion show. Yes. So to conclude this very quickly, the unconscious things that are working in our mind and nature are stronger for people who doesn't have a plan for their life than it is for those who have a plan for their life. So if we are described as fish, because we depend upon motor reflexes more than a plan to guide our life. I hope you're following me. Yes, we depend more on motor reflexes than we depend on a plan to guide our life. But in time, Mr. Brown knew that we would become awake. We will wake up and realize that we are living by habit. We are living by forces that we are not always in control of. And we'll say Islam is to direct our life. And not to direct only our individual life, but Islam is to give us a vision for our community life and its future. We wake up to that, and once we did that, we would come away from the water. And the brothers wouldn't be fishing anymore on the water for fish. They'd become, as the Bible says, fishermen of men. They'd be fishing on land for the intelligence of people, and that's where your adulthood is. Your adulthood is where your intelligence is. It's not where your habits and motor reflexes are. The real intelligence for a human person is where your learning and your intelligence for governing your life in society is. So he knew we'd come to that eventually. But what do we have to do? We have to come from the motor city and then go to Chicago. Go to Chicken Land, Chicago. Go to Chicken Land. And then from there, you're going to be satisfied in Chicken Land. You're going to have to go to a third place, Milwaukee. You have to go to the mill. But if you go to the mill with his language and you grind, business can't thrive if there's only business. Business thrives because of the need in families more than the needs in individuals. It thrives because of the needs in a neighborhood. It thrives because of the needs in bigger and bigger dimensions of space. The space that we are looking at now, that we want to claim